Jamal Charlo responds to David Benavidez fight, says he has to get vaccinated, says he'll snap his neck, among other things. And we're going to talk about it on this side, the real side. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. Jamal Charlo, he was on his own Instagram, social media. He went live, and I believe he's at Benihana's. He said a handful of things. I'm going to read some direct quotes and then kind of give my thoughts and wrap up the video. He responded to David Benavidez. You know, David Benavidez, through his trainer, Pops, Jose Benavidez Sr., they've kind of called out Jamal Charlo, you know, and he responds to that. In this live, you had Jamal Charlo who says, quote, "Get that David Benavidez on the line. I've been trying to call him, but he hasn't answered. Someone tell Benavidez to call me right now. We'll set this ish up. They don't want to fight me. That's a little boy. What is he, 23, 24? I'll hit him with some ish he never been hit with before. You MFers are retarded. Remember the ish that happened with Erickson Lubin? That was too young and too dumb. He ran right into that ish," and he's obviously referring to Erickson Lubin, who fought his brother and got decimated in the first round. It said it snapped his MFing neck. You know, and I got to keep it clean for the YouTube somewhat. David Benavidez, he could be my son. I could raise your ass. And he started laughing. He said, they're kids. I'm not fighting nobody under 25. And I ain't fighting nobody that don't take the COVID, the vaccination. If you don't get vaccinated, I'm not fighting you. You have to get vaccinated for me to fight you. Boxing is already watered down. You want me to be watered down, broke, and sick? Hell no. Y'all got to take the vaccination. Get vaccinated and have it on paper and bring it to the ring. Yeah, all y'all going to get that shot before you could get in the ring with me. End quote. So, like, first of all, let's just talk about this. Some of y'all are idiots, like pure imbeciles in the world of boxing. You heard everything that I said. You heard everything, direct quotes from Jamal Charlo. He also said, if I got to 168, I'm still going to put my 160-pound belt on the line. If you want it, you could get it. Hey, Jose Benavidez, shut your ass up. Put your big brother, little brother on the phone. And obviously he didn't know he was referring to Jose Benavidez Sr., who was in the comment section, instead of, you know, same name as his son, who also fights. It says, put your big brother on the phone. I'm trying to get Benavidez family on the line. His daddy was going to call me an ish. I'm waiting on him to call. I'll talk to him. What's up, Pop? You want your son to fight me? What's up? David Benavidez, daddy, let's fight. Request me. Give me the request. I'm trying to add his pop. So, for some reason, the racists and the bigots, they, in old media, they hear everything I just said to you, and I hear a narrative that Jamal Charlo is making excuses or finding a way to duck from a David Benavidez fight. So I kind of want to talk about that. A lot of y'all, like I said, a bunch of imbeciles. That's why I just punch in and punch out, do my videos and keep it pushing. I like David Benavidez. I like Jamal Charlo. But it's not really about what I like. That's a great fight. You know, people who are fueling this, Jamal Charlo is ducking. He's not even in the same division. And I promise you, one of the ironic things about this whole conversation is you hear David Benavidez and team call out Jamal Charlo. And when it comes to a black fighter like Jamal Charlo, because he has been called out, they'll say that he is ducking. Even though I don't believe any contracts have been passed, David Benavidez already has a scheduled fight that he has to get past with Ronald Ellis, right? So despite all of this, the black fighter, Jamal Charlo, is ducking, according to old media, right? Even though David Benavidez is not even free to fight and he has to get past his opponent. Yeah, he'll be the favorite, but again, it's still boxing. We seen Ryan Garcia get dropped by Luke Campbell. And I'm not saying that's David Benavidez' fate, because I think he's a beast at 168. But all in all, you got to handle one order of business. Benavidez has a scheduled fight. So it's irrational conversation pieces from old media saying that a man that's not even in the division and another man who's not even free, because they're calling for a fight in September, which has not even happened. Like, it's literally the second month of the year. They might be able to get this fight cracking. And if they do, that's a great fight. I'll support it. I'll pay for it, whatever I got to do. It's a great fight to happen. But once again, the point I'm making is you got boxing fans who are trying to suggest that Jamal Charlo is ducking, and listen to what he's saying. What's up, Pop? You want your son to fight me? What's up, David Benavidez, daddy? Let's fight. Request me. Give me the request. I mean, he's pretty clear, right? Get that David Benavidez on the line. I've been trying to call him, but he hasn't answered. Somebody tell Benavidez to call me right now, and we'll set this ish up. They don't want to fight me. That's a little boy. What is he, 23? He ain't never been hit. I'll hit him with some ish he ain't been hit before. Blah, blah, blah. So despite all of that, in terms of a response, people are focusing because he said he got to get a vaccination. Okay. Like, I mean, it's pathetic talking points, people. It's pathetic talking points that people hold their arguments on. Say, oh, Jamal Charlo says he had to get influenza and vaccination. Who cares? Like, first of all, if you actually watch, the entire Instagram live, Jamal Charlo said a lot of things on that particular live. First of all, he said, I don't even want to talk about boxing. That's what he kept saying, if you actually watched. But you get these sometime fans that just kind of peek their head in. He said, I don't even want to talk about boxing. So he could have just been in the mood, because that's literally what he kept saying. He said, don't talk to me about boxing. Ask me about other stuff. Who's my favorite basketball player? Dame Lillard. I don't even care about boxing. I don't want to talk about boxing right now. You know what I'm saying? So he might have just been, just feeling ornery or whatever. He wasn't even trying to talk about boxing. He also said, we had Benihana's, they got us sitting in the back like Rosa Parks. They sitting the blacks in the back like Rosa Parks. So it sounded like he was just shooting the breeze, just entertaining his audience, and he saying what he want to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, people really taking this Rona vaccination piece, and that they're plastering that like as if Jermall is trying to make David Benavidez go through a bunch of hoops and won't fight him, and like it's funny how people are trying to frame this. But the other thing is this: as far as the Rona vaccination, you haven't heard Team Benavidez against it, so that doesn't necessarily mean a stopping point in this particular fight, And he said, I ain't fighting no one under 25. I mean, I don't know why he said that. That was what he said. He said, I'm not fighting any, but I think he was being facetious, because he also said, I'll hit him with some stuff that he ain't been hit with before. I'll snap his neck. You see what I'm saying? So the point I'm making is, if we're going to view somebody, it's like a book. If you're going to read the book, the whole thing, the acknowledgments, table of contents, read the chapters, get to the end, and then you decide if it's a good book. So if we're going to go and handpick things out of the Instagram live, let's talk about the whole thing he said. And the whole interview, or whatever you want to call it, Instagram live in its entirety, he did say, I'm not fighting anyone under 25, but he also said, I'll snap his neck, and likened fighting David Benavidez to, he said he's young enough to be my son, and he likened it into his brother versus Erickson Lubin, who got torched. So this doesn't sound like somebody ducking. But beyond that, this is not how fights are actually created. Like, this could be how the spark for a fight is started, by the fighters engaging and letting people know that they want to fight. The next part is behind closed doors. They got to look at the circumstances and the network, and if they're going to do it at 168, blah blah blah. So I haven't really thought too much beyond that. It's a great fight. If they can make it, make it. If not, there's other great fights. Jamal Charlo and Chris Eubank, David Benavidez, Caleb Plant, things like that. But again, when it comes to David Benavidez, he's hungry. He's a beast. He's hungry. He's a competitor. This is how he's supposed to be talking. This is how his dad is supposed to be talking. They're supposed to feel a guy coming up in weight can't fuck with him, And that's just the nature. And same thing with Jamal Charlo. He's Lions only. He's supposed to feel like this guy, he too young, he ain't on my level, or I've watched his fights before and I see holes in his game. I mean, this is just standard boxing stuff. See, some of y'all got to actually know boxers. Like, I know boxers personally. Like, I just had a conversation with one. You got to get some boxer friends because this is everyday boxing stuff. If you actually know boxers and, be around gyms and have been in boxing gyms, this is just everyday stuff. Trash talk. Oh, I'll beat you. You'll beat you, back and forth banter, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the competitive spirit is alive. These guys they're fighters, So they got that instinct. But to say either guy is ducking and stuff right now prematurely is nonsensical. Nobody's ducking. The fight he just called the man out and they're both engaging in the dialogue, So how is anybody ducking? The other thing that is very ironic with this whole situation is David Benavidez is hungry. He looks motivated. He's in Big Bear. Looks like he's trying to keep his weight in check, which is all great. But he's also called out Caleb Plant, and he's also called out, more importantly, Canelo Alvarez. So you see the same racists and the same bigots and the same biased people in old media. They're not talking about David Benavidez fighting Canelo, which would be a great fight. You have a Mexican-American from Arizona, and you have a fighter of Mexican ethnicity in Canelo Alvarez from Guadalajara, Mexico. And Benavidez and his dad, and publicly, called out Canelo Alvarez among other people like Caleb Plant and also Jamal Charlo. But when it comes to Canelo Alvarez, who actually has the belt that David Benavidez had, they're actually in the same division. Canelo said, yo, I'm fighting at 168 now. You don't see some of the same bigots and the same old media people pushing for David Benavidez versus Canelo. But they are okay with Canelo fighting Avni Yildirim and then Billy Joe Saunders. But they want a black fighter like Jamal Charlo to move up in weight, which, again, that is a good fight too. But where's the same energy for David Benavidez, who has also called out Canelo and says, I'll get, me and Canelo could get that work too. So keep it even, Steven, if you're a boxing fan. But we know what time it is. Let me know how I did in this video. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.